In this video I'm just going to give you a set of circumstances that presents with someone who has acute pain that looks like an injury, but I want to see if it makes sense, why there's other reasons for this person to present with pain in the way they do that make sense from a non-structural perspective rather than just seeing pain as an injury. So if you're interested in this little puzzle, then watch the video. Hi, my name is Drew Coverdale. I'm a physiotherapist in the UK. I help patients look at the circumstances around their persistent pain, look at their beliefs and behaviours around it, see if we can explore them in a way that helps them reverse it. If you're interested in this video or anything like it, then share, click on subscribe, and you can stay up to date with similar kind of content that you may find interesting for you or your patients, and helping them or you reverse persistent pain. Okay, so this is an acute situation. Someone presents with a pain that is only 1-2 weeks old, quite a nondescript event that causes quite severe pain in a lady who's in her early 70s. She describes calf pain, sudden onset of calf pain with reaching up to do some cleaning. So think of that mechanism. If 100 people that age, very fit and healthy lady, 100 people that age reaching up, who would be physically injured with that event that resulted in a pain that was really severe, that was disturbing the sleep, and it almost radiated upper leg and into her back. So it became much more than you normally expect for that kind of injury. You could suspect a calf strain, you could suspect the nerve in the leg, you'd have to check any other sinister causes for that sudden onset of pain, DVT, or these obscure reasons for that to happen where it's very unlikely, but you check everything because it's an acute pain, but it just doesn't make sense. So what is it about that reaching up in that moment for this lady that causes that? Now, otherwise fit and healthy, she has some history of Raynaud's, and that's been worse as well for 2 or 3 months. Raynaud's is like a circulatory situation where the fingers go white or really cold and very reactive to changes in temperature, normally cold, and it can be very painful. It's a rheumatological condition, but we'll come back to that. But that's got worse over the last 2 or 3 months. Now, it's got warmer over the last 2 or 3 months, so it doesn't actually fit why that condition would get worse. So that's a bit unusual too. And I presented this information to a wife actually. I was just kind of explaining these set of circumstances, and she's saying, well, is it a cue? What's coming up? Is something upsetting her? Because she's in this mode of thinking that I talk about it a lot. And so I said, no, actually, it isn't anything coming up, but sometimes it can be something from before. So let's go back to this cleaning. And I asked about the detail of it, the mechanics of it. So what was it she was doing? Well, she was just reaching up to clean a cobweb because she had someone coming round. So exploring that, I said, who's coming round? Because there can be pressure with family visits, or I don't know, things where you want the house nice and clean. Not a big thing for me. Or clean, yes, but tidy, no. But for some people that's important, so you want it just nice. She said it was a estate agent was coming around, some viewings with the estate agent. Oh, and I said, are you moving then? And that's natural pressure that comes with that. And she said, oh yeah, I've got a bungalow. And I said, oh well, in my mind's eye, I thought, oh, that makes sense. The pressure of coming with that in that moment, the nervous system's a little bit, if you looked at the top stressors, moving out is one of them. If you've ever experienced moving out, you know what that feels like. And getting ready for that and, closing the deal is, stuff to focus on. And she said, I've got a bungalow. I said, oh, that's nice. I said, well, why are you moving then? She said, oh, I lost my husband in February. And I'm sorry for that with her, and that you don't need to know any more essentially than that. Does that make sense, that the loss she feels, the pressures that come with that, not just moving house, but moving house because you're leaving everything behind in memory terms from that place. It's now late May and he passed in February. It's not a long time. So the surge of emotions that comes with that, then this small movement, that isn't just calf pain, it triggers the whole nerve. Well, that tells us it's the nervous system. So can you see how these other influences can be the tipping point for an acute pain that manifests as an injury, but when you examine the calf, there isn't an injury there. When you examine the sinister things around it, there isn't anything to be concerned about. When you examine the nervous system, you see objectively, you see the reflexes a little bit brisker. You know these other component factors related to that, and that's the presentation of her pain. And she said to me, do you think this, I'll have this for the rest of my life? So she's asking, what, this calf pain that's a week or two old, will it be there for the rest of her life? But she's explaining about that pain, but potentially talking about the emotion underneath it. Will she feel this way for the rest of her life? And I didn't talk to her about that in detail, but I said your calf pain will go completely. You're going to be totally okay. You are fine, you're healthy, you pushed yourself a little too much, and there's some physical things you can do to calm that. And getting control of that will help you see these other aspects of your life that are a little bit stressful, well, a lot stressful at the moment, moving house and dealing with all that. Then they'll start to become a little bit easier. And giving someone a sense of control of the acute symptoms helps them get a sense of control of the longer term aspects of the things that she'll have to face. So that description is really interesting from an onset point of view. Before we finish the video, I just want to explain about the Raynaud's. So go back to that now. She's had this pre-existing Raynaud's that would come and go, yes, with cold cues. These are conditioned responses. But when you go into the stress response, when you go into the fear response, there's a pooling of the blood into the central organs of your body to protect them. You know, you can sacrifice an arm or a leg in a battle. Not a very nice sacrifice, but at least you'd survive. So this peripheral circulation shuts down when you're in that situation of freeze, the freeze response. And essentially that's what's happening with her. So as the weather gets better and warmer, actually symptoms are getting worse. And that's not a prediction of, well, it maybe is a prediction of what the future is going to look like that's fearful, but it's also from a point in time a few months ago when the symptoms worsened where the fear started. I hope that's an example that's helpful to you. There's a story every day that you see, and I'm going to keep throwing them out to you because I think it's so helpful to see other people's pain, maybe to see your own pain, and to do something about it when you think that control and ability to do it wasn't yours. It really is.